The big news for today, Marquise Brown got signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, so he is now on Mahomes' offense team. Pretty exciting news, considering that I'm from Kansas City. I'm pretty pumped, and we're going to even be better. We just won the Super Bowl. Okay, I don't mean to rub it in for those of you who aren't Kansas City fans, but come on back. We're going to talk today about, can you handle where I'm headed?
Hollywood Brown.
The 45-yard line is Marquise Brown.
Nope. Nice adjustment by Hollywood. What a catch. Made by Brown. Touchdown. Look at
Marquise Brown is an all-star player. He's been with a few teams since just 2019, and he's doing pretty darn well. Now, football players typically have an entourage of choices when they're in school because they're the stars. They're making the team. They're scoring the points. They've got the cheerleaders. And so if you get a football player, depending on how you think, you could feel really special and really important and feel like you hit the jackpot. But I'm telling you, whom much is given, much is required. Do you know what goes into being a bride of a football player, a pro player? Do you understand how banged up their bodies get, how wild they can be, and how many different responsibilities they have for training, for focus? Yeah, there might be money and lifestyle options, but baby, you sure better count all the costs that goes with that. And if they're an extremely good player, they are an extremely focused and gifted and talented player that may require a lot of training, a lot of focus, a lot of time away, a lot of travel. So the glamour dies down just a little bit if that's your focus. And so I just thought it was great to highlight Marquise today because that way you could really think about, that's an extreme case. Let me tell you, when I was a little girl, I was just a romance queen. What can I say? And I always thought that I would marry a very special guy because I knew I was a very special girl. And one day I met my husband, my Prince Charming, and he was an IT guy. And I thought, how cool to be with a geek. But little did I recognize what price I would pay for being with a geek. So for those of you who don't really understand what that might mean, think about when you talk to Alexa or Siri, that's even better example. You better know how to say it, because at the end of it, you'll feel like she's the dumbest AI system you've ever experienced. Oops, I'm sorry, Apple, I didn't say that. You have to say it right. But even now, if you think about AI and Chat GPT, if you don't say it right, ain't no telling what you'll get. Well, likewise, if we're in a relationship and we really think we understand our man or whoever we're with, and we're excited about the career because we're excited about the income that's coming, we don't always think about all the things. So today we're going to talk about 3 things very quickly. The first one is understanding your partner's aspirations. You got to know what those are and not assume that what you see today is where they're headed. The second one, in light of their aspirations and what you learn, you need to make sure that you all are compatible, that the direction you're going in, the direction they're going in, are directions that can complement each other. And finally, we're going to talk about common challenges that happen when we don't really think this is important, so we don't really prepare for it. So when I talk about, can you handle where I'm headed, I'm asking you, when you're in a serious committed relationship, to think about these things well. So in order for you to think about them well, you must understand where they're headed. And in order for you to understand that, there has to be communication. And I was looking at the exploration to Mars and all that's gone into that. Do you know that the top people they picked to do that work studied for years and years? In some cases, they are seniors because it took 25, 30, 40 years of not only going to school and preparing, but they had to become gurus in their field. They're not always able to play so hard with the family. And that means sacrifice. So let's go to the second point. You've got to evaluate compatibility. You've got to think about, okay, now I know where they're headed, and that's attractive to me, but where am I headed? Now, there's two sides of this coin. There's the whether you're a guy or a girl. I think it would be really cool to be Mr. Mom, or I think it'd be really cool to be a mom at home taking care of my children, giving them the best life because I'm there for their soccer games, so forth and so on. Or it might be that you're in a career. Does your career take you out of town? Are you on the executive team? And so therefore you've got a lot of responsibility and decisions to make and stress to handle. And while your partner is a pro player or a professional singer, a medical practitioner, and they're successful, you are in your own right, and your journey could very well take you all in opposite directions. And so having that conversation and making sure that you're compatible is critical. And finally, the third point, the common challenges, the disillusionments that may occur. See, many times, again, in these relationship situations, we're so completely happy from an emotional standpoint with our partner, and that we just want to be with them for many, many, many years to come. And that takes over and stops us from really contemplating, are there differences? Are there going to be challenges? And if so, let me take the hard look. Because I don't want to take the hard look. I want to take the soft look. I want to take the fun look. I want to just enjoy my partner. I don't want to think about potential problems. There's going to be problems no matter who I deal with. But the reality is you've got to think it through. You've got to really stop and evaluate, does this work? And so what I'm trying to encourage you to do is take that reality in advance, analyze it, think it through, talk about it, consider who you are, who they are. Are we going in the same direction? Can we support each other and rejoice with each other? Or do we have insecurities that we haven't worked through yet? And as I climb the ladder, you're going to feel super insecure or neglected. We need to think about it. Hit that subscribe button. I welcome your comments. Thank you for the ones that have been giving me comments. Have a great week. Bye.